On the hazy horizons of Nook City 12, the sun was no longer a radiant orb. It was merely a dim glimmer, filtered through the thick, unrelenting veil of suspended particle pollution. The demise of the forests did not arrive with a thunderous explosion. It came through a silent, insidious suffocation, one that began deep within the very earth itself. The world's magnetic breath had been stifled, and this single shift brought down biological life's defensive lines, one by one. It all began underground, in those dark, forgotten voids where roots are meant to breathe. The pollution, born of human-centric greed and decomposed bioplastic waste, triggered a relentless proliferation of a new bacterial species in the soil. These bacteria acted like a vacuum, draining the oxygen from the earth to expand their own lethal territories. According to the records of Book 5, oxygen, once the lifeblood of the soil, began to vanish. During this invasion, trees were condemned to rot from within. They were unable to sprout new roots, while their existing ones were slowly deprived of air. The trunks of the ancient trees still stood upright, yet their vital bonds beneath the surface had been severed. As the roots decayed, the ancient whispers of the forest were replaced by a new sound, the lifeless clicking of drying timber. The sky was saturated with the magnetic haze emitted by the spires and electric mines. Sunlight could no longer fully reach the earth, making photosynthesis, the most fundamental survival mechanism of plants, a biological impossibility. As light levels dwindled, the trees lost their ability to produce food. Meanwhile, the oxygen-consuming bacteria thrived even faster in the dark, stagnant soil. The once magnificent black forest was the first victim of this unjust cycle. Every shade of green turned first to gray, then to a hollow black. The leaves did not fall. Instead, they clung to the branches like carbonized memories, turning to dust and scattering into the air at the slightest breeze. The forest was no longer a living ecosystem. It was a silent wreck, the clearest indicator that the scales of nature's justice had been broken. As the atmospheric oxygen levels plummeted to the critical threshold of 16%, the forests ceased to clean the air. Instead, they further darkened the sky, with the magnetic dust accumulating upon their charred remains. The migration paths of birds shifted, and the song of the seals fell silent beneath the waves. The silent execution of the forests was the physical price of humanity viewing nature solely as a resource. Today, in Nook City 12, when a child looks upon a forest bed, they do not see life. They see tree skeletons, strangled by anoxic soil, and a black shroud conquered by bacteria. Nature cut its own breath because its rhythm was broken, and the world was submerged into a silence that could only be measured by energy quotas.